The Nintendo Switch expansion pack fulfilled all my expectations. It's amazing. I'm so glad that I bought it. What's the stock price right now? We're still down?
Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. That's right, the video game show that is not hosted by an annoying e-beggar. There is no Patreon, no super chats. That's right, we just talk about the games we love and how fun it is to hoard them. Collect them. Now, with that said, let's get ready for the show. On today's episode, this show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. I wanted to expand on the video that I made yesterday. I think not everybody took it in the spirit in which it was meant, which is more like a warning, what I've been doing now for the last couple of months. As you know, if you've been following the channel, you know every time I make a critical, video about X, Y, or Z, I'll have people that are clearly investors in certain companies come in and, try to lecture me on why they're in the right and I'm in the wrong, okay? Which is not a problem under normal circumstances. But when you're a stockholder of a company, or you have an unexpected connection to a company, and you are trying to promote products or give your opinion on products, you have a higher responsibility with regulations, with government regulations. Now they may vary depending what country you're from, but this is pretty standard. If you're getting some sort of benefit from a company or you hold ownership in a company, whoever you're talking to, if it's the general public, right, they should know. I made the example video here on the intro because I own probably most major video game company stocks that are out there. They're in my portfolio. So anytime that I speak on Nintendo, on Sony, on Microsoft, you should take my opinion with that in consideration. Because if I'm giving a positive opinion on the stock and I'm giving the recommendation, let's say that it's my opinion that you should buy the stock, I'm doing it under my own interest. You don't know if maybe I'm being sincere or maybe I'm trying to pump up the stock because I want to sell at the top, right? And leave you guys holding the bag with a stock that is going to drop, right? So the public needs to know where you stand when you have a connection to a company that might not be expected by the public. Let's say I'm talking about, Marvel movies. And I say, hey, this new X-Men movie that Marvel is coming up with is amazing. And they give me the shirt. I have to disclose that, right? And even though I'm being sincere about my expectations of the movie, the public has a right to know that they gave me this shirt because they need to take that into consideration. Am I being influenced in my opinion because I got a free shirt? Right? That's fair to the public. That's what regulations are meant to do. A lot of people, because of the source of where this came from, always stand on one side or the other. Okay? And what I've been trying to do, and when I, put these things out there, is so you guys know that this is out there. So you guys don't make these same mistakes. So I give you links to things, but since a lot of people, let's face it, don't like reading and don't follow links, I wanted to go over the pamphlet because you can't double down when you ignore certain regulations, right? Let's say that, I didn't know what the law was. And I asked my buddy, and he has the best of intentions, and we talk about it and we're like, yeah, I don't think, that doesn't sound bad. Well, the owner told me that it was good. Okay, well, we're good. When you really think about this, and anytime somebody makes a legal claim against you, because if somebody, for example, claims that I made a misstatement in the beginning of this video, let's say I didn't use a disclaimer, for example, and if somebody says, dude, you messed up, okay, I'll try to correct it. But if I just go, nah, I already talked to him, we're good. No, you're not good. You need to find out whether the person making the accusation is wrong or right. Let's say a troll made the accusation, right? Somebody's trolling me and they make that accusation. Trolls, let me tell you this, And you should always keep this in mind. Trolls are like broken clocks. They're going to be right twice a day. Not everybody's going to be wrong 100% of the time. Not everybody's going to be right 100% of the time. But when it comes to legal matters, just remember the old saying.
A man who is his own lawyer has a fool for a client.
If you pretend to be your own lawyer and you think you know the own laws, then you have a fool for a client, because you can't defend yourself if you're not a lawyer, right? It would be a legal question. It would be a fair legal question. I know if I would be accused of that, the first thing I would do is make sure that I am not violating any rules or regulations, including the terms of YouTube. You don't want to get a phone call or a letter, an email from a government agency for this type of reason. You don't. It's just a pain in the butt, right? And it's easily avoided by addressing these issues. So what I want to do with you here is let's go over the pamphlet's most important points.
And like I said, guys, if you guys need legal advice, consult your lawyer. But I just want to go over the pamphlet here. So let's go. When to disclose. Disclose when you have any financial, employment, personal, or family relationship with a brand. See how it says personal right there? That could be a tricky one, right? Financial. That can mean a lot of things, okay? So here's some examples. Financial relationships aren't limited to money. So they tell you right there. Could be stocks, right? Could be a bunch of things. Disclose a relationship if you got anything of value to mention a product. Could be worth a penny. It just has to have value. If a brand gives you free or discounted products or other perks, that could be anything, right? It's other. It's pretty broad. And then you mention one of its products, make a disclosure, even if you weren't asked to mention that product, right? So it's really putting the onus on you. Don't assume your followers already know about your brand relationships, right? So what could be tricky here? Let's say you disclosed it in one video, say half a year ago, and never mention it again. That's what this is trying to prevent. You always have to make sure that the viewer who is watching that particular video knows about that relationship. Make disclosures even if you think your evaluations are unbiased. Okay? So that's part one. Now we have some more clarification, guys, and the reason these are out, I want to make sure you know, is that the FTC has started cracking down hard on internet businesses engaging in this type of work, this type of endorsements. Okay, so it is being regulated. It's just not, they're just not saying for the heck of it. They're going after companies now, so please be aware of that. If you endorse a product through social media, your endorsement message should make it obvious when you have a relationship, meaning a material connection, okay, with a brand. A material connection to the brand includes personal, once again, family or employment relationship, or financial relationship. Financial relationships can take on a lot of meanings, okay? I want you to be aware of that. Let's say you have a monetized channel, for example, right? And somebody, say a brand, speaks about your channel and, are cross-promoting, right? It could be a lot of things. It could be interpreted a lot of ways. That's why I say consult a lawyer, get legal help if you think you're, in a gray area, right? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just explaining what the brochure is. So let's keep on going. Such as a brand paying you or giving you free discounted products and or services. Telling your followers about these kinds of relationships is important because it helps keep your recommendations honest and truthful, and it allows people to weigh the value of your endorsements. As an influencer, and this is the big one, it is your responsibility to make these disclosures, to be familiar with the endorsement guides. Your responsibility, okay? So if you're not doing that, if you're not familiar with these, and you're promoting products, and you have financial relationships, you could be in that gray area I'm talking about, okay? Just avoid headaches. Just make it easy on yourself. You know, just follow the regulations, know the regulations if you have financial relationships, and it could it could save you a lot of headaches. And to comply with laws, okay, these are different than regulations. When you violate a law, the consequences are a little bit higher. Again, consult your lawyer. Against deceptive ads, don't rely on others to do it for you. You know, the one thing that I hear a lot, and I keep hearing, especially in live streams, is we talked about it, you know, yada yada yada, we're good. People making these statements, there's no problem. Please don't make those kind of statements if you're not a lawyer. A lawyer can tell you, you know, you don't have a problem, right? A legal expert can tell you you don't have a problem. But I couldn't tell you, I'm just a layman, right? Nobody else can tell you. If you work in any other industry other than the law, you shouldn't say those things because you're an influencer and you're telling other people that this is okay. What if you're wrong? I mean, the ramifications can be pretty big, so please be careful. Now, can you guys imagine what would happen if somebody would use my video and it didn't have a disclaimer? This first part of this video, the sketch, right? And it didn't have a disclaimer. And they present that to potential investors in Nintendo. I would be up to my eyeballs in legal shit, right? So I'm trying to warn you guys of the potential pitfalls that might arise from all this stuff. And it's simple, as simple as just writing a small paragraph on your video, just putting a little sticker there. It's very easy to avoid these headaches, and it's very easy to avoid people accusing you of things that maybe you didn't intend. But the best thing to do if you think that you've made any kind of mistake is to get help, legal advice from an expert in this area of the law and regulations. All right, humans, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear sometimes, but I'll try to tell you what you need to know to the best of my ability. I will catch you on the next one. Take care. New videos every weekend and whenever I feel like it. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Ring that bell.